Okay, YouTube. It is June 12th, 2010. I just worked a double shift. I got off, changed my clothes, went to TGI Fridays, and I watched UFC 115, headlined by Chuck Liddell and Rich Franklin. I made a predictions video for this UFC earlier today, but the sound wasn't working on it for some reason. Sorry about that. So you didn't get to see what I called. I called them all perfectly. No, I didn't exactly. Actually, I didn't see the Ben Rothwell and Gilbert Ivel. Ben Rothwell, I heard run by decision, which is what I did call, because he's just bigger, and I said if he was in shape, he'd be able to win the decision, which he did. Next fight, Paulo Thiago, Martin Kampmann. I called Thiago to win, man, because he's looked good the past few fights, really good. And I haven't seen much of Martin Kampmann, but Martin Kampmann looked great tonight. He just grinded it out. Thiago, I mean, he didn't really beat him. He just frustrated Thiago the whole time. I think if Paulo Thiago would just work on his takedowns, he would have fared a lot better in that fight. But Martin Kampmann was just much better prepared and had a much better game plan, and he ended up winning. He just he outboxed him, and then on the ground he just had just enough skill and experience to stay on top. He didn't completely dominate and beat Thiago. Thiago still has a lot of potential. Like I said, if he just works on his takedowns and his boxing, obviously just the technical side, he's got plenty of power, but he just needs to work on technical boxing and takedowns, and he'll be okay. All right, next fight, Crow Cop and Pat Barry. This fight was a pleasure to watch. It was two guys that liked each other. They shook hands, and they just went out there and they just started throwing hands and banging hard as anybody does. And in the middle of the first round, they even stopped and gave each other a hug after some exchange that was that they both appreciated for some reason. They gave each other a hug. You don't see that. And something else you don't see very often, Pat Barry knocked Mirko Cro Cop down twice in the first round and didn't pounce on him. Didn't pounce and try to finish and just try to nail him with a bunch of headshots. He just let him get back up, which, that's a sign of a very mature fighter, or maybe an overconfident fighter, which Pat Barry obviously was in this fight. And he was confident for a reason. He is great. He's good. He could stand with the heavyweights. I don't know how he'd fare against him, but I think he should be allowed to fight some of them. I think he just got a little overconfident. He was obviously faster and was overpowering Cro Cop in the first round, outstriking him. He just wasn't as experienced. And Cro Cop is a warrior. I mean, that guy's been entertaining us for years now, and he just showed he is not ready to bow out. He definitely remained calm, and he definitely put on a very entertaining fight. And it was just a pleasure to watch him. First, he just hung in there, kept calm, withstood the whole storm Pat Barry had to offer, and then he just started landing strikes, just started wailing on him, knocked him down, got on his back, choked him out. It was a beautiful thing. Okay, main event in Vancouver. I think that's where it was. Pretty sure it was. That's what they said. Chuck Liddell, Rich Franklin, two UFC legends, tons of fans. Everybody loves them. Nobody wants to see either one lose. They got in there. They started banging. Honestly, I think Rich Franklin's better off at 205 right now. Obviously, he can't do anything in 185. Nobody can. I'll get into that subject later. But that's where he needs to be. And he looked good. But, I mean, Chuck hasn't lost much in the past 3 to 4 years. I think it's been mostly just bad luck. But Chuck was dominating the first round. Was just quicker, throwing more technical, harder punches. But once again, Rich is a veteran. He is not going to panic. He just hung in there. He just waited, and he just kept swinging hard. And one of those hard swings just connected in the exact right spot. And I'm telling you, take it for somebody who's taken a lot of hits from a lot of people. And sometimes you don't even feel them. Sometimes they jolt you, but they come nowhere near knocking you out. And sometimes you don't feel a thing at all, but it's just like a button is pressed and you're knocked out. My